Right, as I was saying, right, in case a brother end up going and coming together with a woman, so long as the woman involved with a man sexually, right, because sex is marriage is something we don't know. We think that by somebody going and having a ring on a finger and signing a paper that is marriage. That is not marriage according to the Bible. According to the Most High is when the two flesh become one, right? Which is sex. And in order for a woman originally supposed to, how it originally was, right? A woman supposed to be a virgin in order to really be eligible to be a man wife. Or if she's not a virgin, the first man who had sex with her, right? The first man who had sex with her had to be dead. And then she's able to marry again. But we didn't know that, so we just do our own thing. But when the knowledge comes to us, it's always good to have the proper knowledge in your head and go ahead and follow it. Don't just continue as we're doing. If you know, alright, you get to understand now that what is proper marriage. You stay with your man and you don't add sin on top of sin. The scripture going to say here, right? Matthew chapter 5 verse 32, right? Or whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery. Never seen that mouth a man there as yet. And again, ye have heard, right, that it had been said by them of old time, right? Thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shall perform thy oath unto the Lord. But I say unto you that swear neither before heaven, for it is his throne, neither before earth, for it is his footstool, neither before Jerusalem, for it is the city of a great king. Neither shalt thou swear by the heart, because thou canst make one hair on thy head white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, and nay, nay. So this is why we tell you we are against Christianity, because Christianity is a wicked thing. The making you go in front of the altar and swear to God and say I promise to love and hold. You're not supposed to do that either. Right? Because when you go and make a promise to God, you have to keep it. The Most High knowing we is many sin, forswear not thyself. Because we just a man, we just always go back and we promise. And if you promise something unto God, He's going to hold you to that. So that's why the Most High say, it has been said from old time, forswear not thyself. Right? So we're not even supposed to be swearing. So this the format in which we just married today, right, is wrong. Real marriage starts with the woman being a virgin, and if she have a husband, she'd already married, because sex is in marriage. If he died, then she could go and have her next husband, which is have sex with her next man. Right? Next scripture we're going to is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Right? This is the book of of 1 Corinthians, right, chapter 7. Right? And it says, starting from verse 6. Right? I'll start from verse 1. Right? Now concerning the things where I write unto you, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render right? Let the husband, right, render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife had no power over her own body, right, but the husband, and likewise also the husband had no power over his own body but the wife. Right? Scripture go on to say here, defraud ye not one another, except it be, right, with consent, for a time, that you may give yourself to fasting and praying, to come together again, that Satan may not tempt you. He listen with the scripture going to say, because people doesn't get misconception with this. Paul going to say, but I speak this of permission and not of commandment, because Paul know it have no such commandment that he could tell a man he have to only have one wife. That is not in the law, because we read in the book of John chapter 3 that for sin is the transgression of the law. So there is no sin. And where there is no transgression, there is no sin. Right? But this message here is not the encouragement to have more than one woman, because this is not the time for that. But we at Great Millstoners like to deal with truth. It's all about truth. If a man happened to end up in a situation like that, he committed no sin. Right? The scripture go on to say here, for I would have that all men, right, were even as I am. And Paul was a eunuch, right, which a man who is either by surgical, or he was born, or he make himself unable to have sex. So he didn't use to meddle up with the flesh, because he understand that the time he was living in, that when it is the things that will be going on, a woman is just a distraction. You have to focus on bringing in New Jerusalem. That way we focusing on. You see this pain and all this fighting up and sorrow. We ain't had time with this outside here. Right now is a time to do the things to bring in a pure kingdom, where the water, the food you're drinking, your children wouldn't be getting no vaccination with no poison in it. The food you're eating wouldn't be poison, right? And these negative spirits will be running around plaguing a man's mind 24/7, and you will have a little strength. So this is what you're focusing on. So me encouraging man to have more than one wife with this video. I just bring out the truth, because people have a misconception. And if a man happen to have a next wife, they tell them he sin and he committing adultery. That is not adultery. A man and a woman has committed adultery differently. Get the scriptures right. Christianity, right, is who teach this. Because probably the pastor want to have sex with all the unwed women. He probably want the woman for himself. But we ain't dealing with that. We dealing with the truth. Right? We going on to our next scripture here, right? Next scripture going to is the book of Luke chapter 16. Luke chapter 16 verse 15. And he said unto ye that which justify yourself before men, but God knoweth your hearts, for that which is highly esteemed amongst men is abomination unto God. Right? And what highly esteemed amongst men? Christianity. Jesus Christ, the name where we constantly pulling down, because that is not the name the Father's Son. The name of the Father's Son is Yahawashi. Right? So that which is highly esteemed amongst men is abomination in the eyesight of the Most High. A rich man is highly esteemed amongst men. When he speak, according to the book in the scripture in Sirach, when a rich man speak, everybody hold the tongue. But when a poor man come out and speak, nobody had time with the poor man. Because why? The esteem the rich man high. Governments, the kings of the earth, they are the ones who esteem high. Right? But not to stray too much from the topic, right? Luke chapter 16 verse 18. I'll jump to verse 18. Whosoever putteth away his wife and marrieth another committeth adultery, and whosoever married her that is put away from her husband committeth adultery. Right? So here we're going on, right? Israel was also known in the scriptures to be the Most High wife. Israel is the Most High wife. So sometimes when the scripture talking about if you put away your wife and marry another, you're committing adultery, that talking about Israel too sometimes. Sometimes they're talking about Israel when they leave away from the Most High ways and went into the ways of the heathen. They was committing adultery by doing that. Yeah, brother. They was committing adultery by leaving off the Most High ways. So now, when the Most High say Israel is the wife that have forsaken him, right? The Most High telling you that is also Israel is talking about. Now, the scripture will never tell you to, if a man put away his wife and he take her back, right? That is right, because the scripture specifically says that if a man wife commit adultery, he cannot take she back. So how one part in the scripture go say you could take she back, and then the next part say you cannot take she back. Right? So I just bringing out this point there to draw light that sometimes the scripture talking about Israel as a woman. And we'll go to that scripture in the book of Isaiah chapter 54. we're talking about Israel as the Most High wife. Because we here does take delight in proving all things, right? And holding fast to that which is good. Isaiah chapter 54, right? I will start from verse 4. Fear not, for thou shalt be ashamed, neither be thou confounded. For thou shalt not be put to shame. So the Most High talking about the house of Israel here, won't be put to shame, right? For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shall not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. So that widowhood is when Israel was in the youth, when Israel was now becoming a nation in the youth, they leave the Most High, so they leave the husband. The scripture going on to say here in verse 5, for thy maker is thine husband. The scripture saying, for thy maker is thy husband, right? And the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called. So, firstly, the Most High say he's Israel's husband, right? So that what does get people tied up when the scripture telling you about wife and wife, because Israel is known as the Most High wife also, right? So now, when the scripture tell you, when the Apostle Paul was in Corinthians, he was talking about a literal wife. But the one in Matthew now, the one in Luke was talking about Israel, right? Because here where the scripture going to say, for the Lord had called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth. So the Most High say Israel is his wife, right? So we commit adultery against the Most High. That's why he take away his laws, statutes, and commandments from us, and cause our woman to commit adultery against us, so we could feel what we do. We could feel the effects of what we do, right? So everything is balanced with the Most High. Because the Most High not going to say in the book of Leviticus, right? If I'm wrong, if a man take back her, that which commit adultery, right? He transgress it. But yet, Paul telling you here, you don't have power over your own body. So it's all to be put into proper perspective, right? So with that, I like to say shalom, right? I hope this was edificational. Hopefully I'll come back with a part 2, bring out some more scriptures, right? So with that, shalom. This is Brother Tazwa from the Trinidad GMS camp, saying that to Babylon, who teach us all these false philosophies, right? Shalom.